Somebody once said to me after I'd done Deep Impact, "What is it like to play a black president?" And I said, "I didn't play a black president. I played a president. I just happened to be black. There's a difference." Attacking people with disabilities is the lowest display of power I can think of. As long as you feel like a victim, you are one. You don't know how much you appreciate your privacy until you don't have it. Never let pride be your guiding principle. Let your accomplishments speak for you. Is listening important? I can't think of a single walk of life where it wouldn't be. Get busy living or get busy dying. Did you just call me old? I really prefer the word experienced. I once heard a wise man say there are no perfect men, only perfect intentions. If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If someone prayed for the family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm fuzzy feelings, or does he give them opportunities to love each other? The best way to guarantee a loss is to quit. I am going to stop calling you a white man and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. Very often, you stop walking because you say, "Well, I'm tired of climbing this hill. I'm never going to get to the top." And you're only 2 steps from the top. How do we change the world? One random act of kindness at a time. Finding joy is probably tantamount to finding yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. Challenge yourself, it's the only path which leads to growth. The ancient Egyptians had a beautiful belief about death. When their souls got to the entrance to heaven, the guards asked 2 questions. Their answers determined whether they were able to enter or not. Have you found joy in your life? Has your life brought joy to others? If you want to see a miracle, be the miracle. If you're not living on the edge, then you're taking up a little too much space. Was I always going to be here? No, I was not. I was going to be homeless at one time, a taxi driver, truck driver, or any kind of job that would get me a crust of bread. You never know what's going to happen. Race seems to me to be less and less a subject worth discussing. Write something insightful. Say Morgan Freeman said it. Win at internet. Life is tough, but you just have to get out of bed. Get out and do it. People need to start to think about the messages that they send in the movies. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. In the harshest place on earth, love finds a way. If you dream, you've got to dream that it's going to happen. Remember that. The trick to any profession is making it look easy. We humans are more concerned with having than with being. I'm always trying new things and learning new things. If there isn't anything more you can learn, go off and die. I always wanted to be a fireman, a cop, an Indian chief, a doctor, a lawyer. I always wanted to be all these things, so I am drawn to these kinds of characters. I don't have to work. I could stop and never have to worry about paying the rent. I'm working for the joy of doing it. As you grow in this business, you learn how to do more with less. Don't be afraid of what you want. This is your time. The barriers are down. Self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. You have to get to a point where your mood doesn't shift based on the insignificant actions of someone else. Don't allow others to control the direction of your life. Don't allow your emotions to overpower your intelligence. Anyone who spends a significant amount of time with me finds me disagreeable. Once you've gotten the job, there's nothing to it. If you're an actor, you're an actor. Doing it is not the hard part. The hard part is getting to do it. Don't be different just for difference sake. If you see it differently, function that way. Follow your own muse, always. Fatigue, discomfort, discouragement are merely symptoms of effort. If you wake up and the snow is knee-deep outside, you are not filled with rage. It's just something that you've got to cope with. If you're living in a situation, it's the only situation that you know, and you've got to deal with it. Every man has his breaking point. Discipline is not the enemy of enthusiasm. A single mom who's working 2 jobs and still finds time to take her kid to soccer practice, that's a miracle. Forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear. That is why it is such a powerful weapon. If you look back on your life and where you started from, it's like looking back down a mountain back to the desert floor. It's like, now I can't believe I had whatever it takes or perceived whatever it took to get here. Your best posture is your next posture. If your life turns out to be good and you have a tremendous amount of luck in your life, it's a good thing to turn around and make it work for others. That's your job as the actor, to understand the human part of the character, to make it real. If I stay at home, I'm not famous. I'm only famous when I'm out in the streets, so I don't go out on the streets much. You're not going to be able to look like anyone else, no matter how hard you try, unless you're a mimic. Then you're not acting, you're just mimicking. Let me be the first to tell you, drinking alcohol is the worst thing to do in cold weather. Hot soup is the best because the process of digesting food helps to warm you up. The best way to confront, or deal with, technological innovation is to keep moving technologically. I always tell my kids, if you lay down, people will step over you. But if you keep scrambling, if you keep going, someone will always give you a hand. Always. But you gotta keep dancing, you gotta keep your feet moving. You measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. The highest power is the human mind. That's where God came from, and my belief in God is my belief in myself. I do know there are a lot of people who seem to be in my corner, and that's, of course, wonderful. I'm really more interested in the nomination than in the award, because I think the nomination just puts you within a group of outstanding actors. If you live a life of make-believe, your life isn't worth anything until you do something that does challenge your reality. And to me, sailing the open ocean is a real challenge, because it's life or death. All you have to do is believe, then you will see everything.